Hello and welcome back to The Contentious Life. It's me, Sam, Sam1, Sam G, and over I hand to Sam P. Hello.
Sam P, I'm Sam P here again for The Contentious Life. I think, what is this, our fourth episode?
No, this is our fifth.
Fifth episode? I've lost count, wow.
The fourth one was the NHS one, Boy
God.
Cried Wolf by proxy.
Yeah, that was the one. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this one. We've got some good topics coming up, and I'm also looking forward to the next episode. I've got a bit of insight into what we're going to do, and I'm really looking forward to that one as well. So if you are listening or a regular listener, then please drop us a line. You can do so at contact@thecontentiouslife.co.uk. So send us all your hate mail, love mail, fan mail, naked pictures of yourself if you're a man.
Suggestions for topics.
But
as
of
well. Course, we will decide whether they're underrated or overrated, okay? That's not your department.
No.
You just throw words at us and we'll say if we hate them or like them. That's our department.
We're qualified to do that shit. You're not. Okay, so I think Sam, who's going to kick us off today? Me, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
then what's your first topic? You're doing an overrated thing now, aren't you?
I'm doing something which is overrated. And
Something you hate.
Something I hate, and something which I'm going to knock down. And that is, and I have a lot of experience with this on Facebook, is over-exaggeration.
Yeah?
So the state of something being an over-exaggeration, people use it not only to kind of get sympathy, but they use it to fraud sometimes. And I don't just mean fraud with insurance, I mean like emotional fraud in relationships and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I suppose, to successfully commit benefit fraud, you have to exaggerate the amount of money you need and you have to exaggerate your circumstances, don't you?
Yeah, or exaggerate, your illness or disability.
Exactly, yes.
But then when does an exaggeration become a lie? This is quite an interesting point I was going to make. They say with insurance companies, always give the worst case scenario sort of thing to get the maximum out. But then when does it stop becoming an exaggeration and start becoming a lie? That's what I want to know.
Well, as soon as you lie, basically. So if you lost goods to the value of £100 and you say they were worth £105, you've lied.
Yeah,
you are a criminal.
True. That's true. But then some people will actually delude themselves and say, well, no, it is worth this much because da-da-da-da-da. But it is just an active delusion on their part because they want more out of it.
But I think everyone knows that everyone's doing it. Everyone's on the take, everyone's on the fiddle. Everybody pushes it as far as they can get plausible deniability for.
Yeah, exactly.
Professionals fiddle the billing, don't they? Lawyers work an hour and a half. They say they worked 6.
Yeah.
And everyone knows
people put their
everyone
mileage down and add an extra few miles on each time,
When they're, pool car driver, they can fucking get their fuel expenses back and a bit more, I think. But, unless they've got a tachymeter installed, in which case...
There's only one type of person who wouldn't fraud the system, and that's a good, honest Christian man.
You mean a chump?
Yeah, I do mean a chump.
Yeah,
no.
you borrow his DVD and you never give it back, and he won't confront you over it.
No!
Everyone knows a guy like that.
We got a shed full of tools.
Have you seen my DVD Connection? I said Connection then.
Yeah?
But yeah, Too Old, that's another good one. But I don't know, I wouldn't mess with the builder. They're normally quite tough.
Yeah, they are. We're putting a stereotype on builders there, but, I don't see many female builders, though. You just don't see it, do you?
No.
No many female electricians?
No.
Not many female plumbers?
No, but I knew a female mechanic.
Oh, there we go. That's one. I don't know any.
She was a lesbian.
Oh, well.
So she kind of played right into the stereotype.
Right
there,
into the stereotype, yeah. Yeah.
Right, anyway, exaggerating.
Exaggeration, yeah. The reason I really dislike it is because I spend a lot of time on Facebook, and I'm not the type of person to put my dirty washing on Facebook. I don't air out my dirty laundry or whatever the phrase is on Facebook. I don't like doing that. I don't like people who do it, although I do love reading it. So, although I hate it, at the same time, it gives me something to really moan about. And I really hate it when people put their statuses up saying how they've been wronged by the NHS. I saw a classic one. This is coming back to the NHS, but this only happened yesterday, so it's really relevant. One of my family members, put up a post because they're in hospital at the moment waiting for a minor operation to drain a cyst on their neck. And the operation was moved forward by like 3 hours. And the actual start of the status started with, the NHS is so shit. And I just thought, that's just an exaggeration. Yeah, I was a bit perturbed.
That is an exaggeration.
That was just totally an exaggeration, but people live by that,
Do you know an example of something I haven't put on Facebook?
What's that?
Yesterday, checks my watch for the date. No, 2 days ago, I went to the NHS about my stomach problem, hiatus hernia, and I was put on a waiting list for 18 months for a procedure, but it took 2.5 years to come to the conclusion that I need to go on that waiting list. Yeah, even though I was diagnosed with this thing 7 years ago or something. Yeah. And I'm a bit annoyed about it, and I kind of feel like retracting my praise of the NHS just a little bit, for the record, but I didn't bitch about it on Facebook.
Yeah, people see Facebook as somewhere to bitch, and usually the bitching is done in an exaggerated manner. You know, they have lost out much more than they actually have, or sometimes not at all. Like she didn't really lose out because her operation was moved. Maybe it was something like they had to wait for more blood tests, or they had to wait for the inflammation to go down. There's a reason. They don't do it just to piss you
Or
off.
the surgeon had a bad day on the golf course.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he probably was.
A couple of bogeys.
Yeah. I hit a couple more than I should have, so I, postpone it a bit. No, but seriously, with exaggeration, the other thing which I talked about emotional exaggeration, and this also can be done over Facebook. For instance, someone can put a status up saying, "Oh, my boyfriend or girlfriend should have done this, this, and this," and they didn't. Or you never guess what so and so's done. Da 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 da. A little bit of emotional blackmail, but it's always done with a little bit of flair, isn't there? A little bit of, "Oh, I'm so wounded. I'm so wounded." I feel like saying, "You little prick, stop moaning about it." Do you know what I mean? Stop whinging about every little thing on Facebook. Because if you think about it, Facebook, they only update Facebook maybe 5 times a day for people who do it a lot, right? But they still have a lot more thoughts than that every day. So their life is consumed by thinking negatively and thinking about how they've been done down, and obviously in a more exaggerated way. Yeah. And I just feel like saying to these people, just enjoy life. Life in this country particularly, is really good. We have got a really good life. We've got a welfare state, so you'll never be without.
We've got an NHS.
It's going to be the cornerstone of the contentious life, the NHS.
I know, yeah.
But no, we have indeed got an NHS. We've got pretty good schools all round, depending on what area you go to. But, there's not much to moan about. And I see these people who are really... Oh, what's the word when you feel you're owed? They feel they're kind of owed a debt by the government or by the job centre.
What is the word?
I can't think of the word.
Email us on that word at thecontentiouslife.co.uk if you know what word we're trying to get.
Yeah, I'll probably remember by the end of the show and I'll blurt it out.
And you will make that email address, won't you?
Yeah, I will. It's really easily done. I'm good with the script. Yeah.
Good. But I was going to say is, all that kind of stuff you're talking about on Facebook especially, it's kind of narcissistic, isn't it? And I think, I don't want to rip too hard into the people, because I honestly think they're insecure and they're probably on the edge. If you fucking tore a strip off them and told them to pull himself together and stop being such a narcissistic twat, they might jump off a cliff.
Probably, they probably would, yeah. You have to feel some sympathy, because obviously anger's usually rooted somewhere else,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people like that on Facebook all the time, and to be honest, I kind of tut and roll my eyes, but pity them. And I don't mean that in a false pity way, as in, when you say you pity someone when really you will just want to hurt them, it's like false pity. Them. I genuinely do kind of feel for them a bit. I think they're a bit sad and a bit like they haven't got things quite figured out yet, and all these little tiny problems, they seem so much to them. I think they do seem like huge problems, and I think that's the sad thing.
Yeah, maybe they feel kind of their life, maybe without realising that their life is a bit vacuous. There's not much there. So that's all they've got, is these little things which lead them day to day. Yeah. And really, when you look at the bigger picture, if you've got like a view of the bigger picture of the world and life, you kind of get to a place where you think, oh, I don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to moan about it because it doesn't faze you as much, And
if your biggest worry was the fact that your daily water supply had typhus in it, then I suppose you wouldn't care about your best friend broke a nail or something.
No, exactly.
I mean?
Yeah. More examples are great. Examples of people exaggerating on Facebook. Another one, rather than moaning about the ways you've been put down, it's moaning about things you've got more than you have. So you're exaggerating, I've got this much money, I've got this car, I've got this new clothes. The people who brag, Facebook's braggers, and they usually do it in quite a subtle way, So be just dropping in there that I've got the new Rolls Royce, I've got the new
probably got an
Armani.
HP at a really, really bad rate of interest. Which in 5 years' time, he's probably going to be in debtor's prison or something.
Yeah.
Not that it exists, but you know what I mean.
I've got the newest iMac, it cost me $3,000, I'm having a little bit of trouble with it, but I've still got it, so it's all good.
Again, yes, I am probably insecure and vapid and narcissistic, and I need things and stuff.
Because my cock is small!
Yeah. Like fake gangsters putting their money on Facebook, like fat stacks of their cash. And they probably owe about 90% of that money to their dealer, who owes about 90% of it to his dealer. Do you know what I mean? But hey, it looks good on Facebook.
It's really about £25 going around the whole gangster circle in Newport,
Yeah, the rest of it belongs to people who will genuinely cut your face off and probably have no time for Facebook.
Yeah, those kind of people. If you're listening, please do get in touch at contact@thecontentiouslife.co.uk.
Or face cutters at thecontentiouslife.co.uk.
Yeah. Talking about people bragging as well, a lot of things I see on Facebook is people bragging not about material things, not about money, but about their social status, so within their family or something like that.
Yeah.
The one particular group of people I hate, and this is probably going to be a little bit controversial, are the nice, ordinary, and I'm doing inverted speech marks with my fingers.
I can vouch for that.
Ordinary families. So, 2.4 children, mum, dad, 2 kids or whatever, and they're all really happy putting their pictures up of them in France, and look at us, we're in France, we're in Disneyland, we're doing this. You can see we're so good. All our kids are doing well in school. None of them are falling off the track and doing coke, But really,
they're just into cuckolding behind the scenes.
Yeah, we know they're just doing blow jobs around the back of the school bike shed,
Swinging.
For fivers. Yeah.
There's always trouble in paradise.
There is always trouble in paradise. And you see this, I don't like that 2.4 children look, because that's not a realistic view of the world. I don't think it is. It never has been, really.
Suburbia.
I think it's just something which people aspire to, and, they don't quite get. Like, how many divorces are there? 1 in 3 marriages end in divorce?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah? Do you know what I mean? It's not all it's cracked up to be, is it, really?
No, picket fences and, expertly pruned roses. We're talking like American Beauty, sort of Desperate Housewives scenario.
Desperate Housewives type thing, yeah. And people put that all up on Facebook, look at my cherry blossom. I don't want to look at your fucking cherry blossom.
I know, innit, yeah.
You know what I mean? I do not want to look at your cherry blossom or your kid who's just had a new haircut and he's going to play hockey and you're going to watch him because you've got the day off work because you did so well at work and you're a working mother as well as a mother,
Oh, yeah, dual income family. I know, yes, they're members of the country club and they play bridge with Lady Fanshaw's bridge evening. Okay, that's a young one's reference. Oh, speaking of the young ones, though, I was going to drop in another reference earlier on.
Go on.
I've told you a million times, don't exaggerate. It's like Rick.
There it is.
Who died a year and 2 days ago.
Really?
Rick Mail, yeah.
God, it's flying, isn't there? That is flying. Crazy.
Crazy.
Well, Sam, is there anything you would like to bring to this? We've mentioned materialism, we've mentioned social status, narcissism on Facebook. All these, though, are versions of exaggeration, over-exaggeration, sorry, especially the family one, because we all know that all families have got problems, have got issues, and it's not what you think it is, So they're all versions. Is there any over-exaggerations which really gall you?
My final thought is, if I'm going to put my Jerry Springer cap on for a second, is whether it's good or bad, why lie? Just tell it like it is, right?
Yeah.
If your life's shit, then just say, but don't make it out to be more shit than it is, but don't do the opposite either. Like, obviously don't...
Balance. We like balance, don't we, Sam?
Yeah, we don't need to know if your wife's being fucked by some crazy gigolo or something. But,
Yeah.
Don't pretend, don't use everything as an advert.
Yeah, I know.
And for how normal you are, which is a quote from American Beauty.
Yeah, that's it, actually, isn't it? That's what it comes down to. Look at us, we're doing okay. When, really, most people are doing okay, but they're just not doing it in the way you think is normal.
It's like everyone's... Okay. How much of everyone's life is dedicated to PR spin, effectively?
It is. And Facebook is that, isn't it? It is a PR spin for you to show to your family, usually. Your extended family. Look how good we're doing. Look what we're doing, I
wonder how much energy people expend and waste on just, basically spinning their life to others,
When I was younger, I cared a lot what people thought over my teenage years. As soon as I stopped caring what people think, and to this day, I don't really care what people think about me, I started enjoying life a lot more.
Yeah.
And
very
interestingly enough, it correlates with I don't need to put all my dirty laundry on Facebook, only stuff which I think is quite interesting for people to read. And I also don't put stuff on there to show off. Like, for instance, I've got quite a decent car, It's not brand new, don't get me wrong, it's not brand new, but I didn't need to put pictures up on Facebook, like a certain balding radio DJ I know who put pictures of his flash ridiculous car up, which his own admission is a bit of a midlife crisis.
Yeah, at least that was kind of funny. It was sort of being ironic there.
Yeah, it was.
I do that. Most of my Facebook statuses are kind of like semi-ironic, sort of vaguely Clarkson-esque observations, sometimes a vague dig at myself. But I like to think I'm not in the camp who just it's all about look at me or woe is me. There's always some sort of twist, I think. I'm just a bit... there's an online me, it's a bit different to the real me. I kind of use my online persona as just it's almost like a comedy character.
Funny you should say that. I think that. I said that I'll only post stuff I think is vaguely interesting or got interesting to people, So I usually be linked to a news article or something going on in current affairs, or issues going on like the election or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it should be like. It should be more you kind of putting what you think are good views forward, what you think are bad views, knocking them down, It shouldn't just be about egotistical, this is me, this is what I hate and it's affected me, It should be a bit more wide scope, because you really have got a big market you can speak to. I've got quite a low number of friends on Facebook, but I've still got about 400,
Oh, is it? Oh, you call that low? I got 115.
Well, funny enough, someone said to me, I thought that was quite a lot, 455, but some of my friends, Joe Fish, has got over 1,000,
I've seen people with 4,000.
Yeah, I know, but they can't literally know them all.
Nope.
My ones are hand-picked. They are people who I interact with, and they're not just people from school, because I haven't added everyone from school.
Now, on the subject of Facebook, Are you an adder or mostly an addie?
Addy.
Yeah,
I
me too.
very rarely press the add button because all the people I care about and want to speak to are already on there.
Yeah, I'm the same.
It's only the people who haven't got Facebook yet who are going to get it who would add.
And most people, my friends on Facebook, they approached me with a request, and I've still got about a backlog of 30 requests from people who've made to me, and it's like, I either don't like you or don't know you, so no.
I'm one of these people, if someone adds me, I don't know them, I won't add them unless I know them. I won't just click confirm, you know? I've got to know who the person is. And this comes back around to what I was saying about social status. The more friends on Facebook, the more popular I am. So I'm just going to add every fucker on there because I need to appear popular. I need, for my PR...
I think that's
I need
it.
to appear popular.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, people just like to see a big number. People think that others like to see a big number, and who's impressed by that?
It's the same on Twitter. It's Twitter followers. You know, it's called follow for a follow, isn't it? I'll follow you if you follow me. It's reciprocal.
It's like almost become a currency, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, funny you should say that. You can actually buy Instagram followers now. So you can buy 10,000 Instagram followers for so much money. My cousin did it as a joke for his girlfriend.
What a load of absolute narcissistic
I know,
fuck-piggery.
isn't it? It's like a bit of psychopathic, isn't it? It's a bit kind of feed my ego for nothing, you know?
I think it's a good litmus test, actually.
Yeah.
This.
The annoying thing is, as soon as you sign up for it, Instagram realizes and removes them all off your account. So,
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty much, you know, you get bitten straight back for spending that money. So that's what you rough justice.
About Instagram, I thought it was just a thing for your iPhone that made all the pictures you took look like Polaroids.
That's the idea.
And why is there like a community now about this? Why is it like become a Facebook, Twitter type affair?
Because people like to monopolize something and turn it into a platform for them to speak. It's not usually about a community or about... It becomes about a community in the end, but it's about an individual saying, I want to show the cuts on my arms, so I'm going to hashtag emo cuts on arms.
Look at the size of my
2K4.
hashtag, bitches.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's what it does become about. And then you end up with little cults. I call them little cults on Instagram, on Twitter, you know, and they all gang up. If they don't like a particular person, they'll all take it out on someone else. Do you know what I mean? And they'll all gang up together and be like, we hate you at someone with a hashtag, which is ironic and going to make fun of you.
Really? Yeah, it's a bit bullying, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this kind of thing does bring out the ugly side of people. You know, it's just like, you know, maybe they were bullied in school and now they feel like they're on the winning side in the winning gang.
You're doing very Jerry Springer today, aren't you? You're looking into the psyche of the person, you know, feeling sorry for them. They're just twats.
You're right there, and you're the one with the psychology qualification,
Yeah.
so I should take your word for that. I'm the one
some
musing
people are
bullshit.
Just twats.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Okay, cool.
Right.
On that note, Sam, I'd like to turn it over to you. It's been quite fast paced.
Okay, first of all, we can edit this out if you want, but I need to urinate.
Right, okay. Okay, moving swiftly on. We're going to go on to Sam's topic next. This is your underrated topic, I believe.
Yeah, this is something I've felt kind of strongly about for a while now. It's called music theory.
Okay then. Well, for the average listener who hasn't got a knowledge of music any more than Lady Gaga, what is music theory?
Well, first of all, I'd like to stop you there, and I'd have to point out that Lady Gaga is actually quite a talented musician. She knows quite a lot. She's good at the piano, and she's probably classically trained. And she used to work as a songwriter for Interscope Records before she wrote for her own act, which is a mixed bag. I quite like Just Dance and I quite like Paparazzi, but I don't like Poker Face.
No.
But anyway, music theory is just basically having this knowledge of the music system that underpins all the songs you listen to, pretty much, you know?
Okay.
And most people, especially guitarists, I gotta say, they just they learn about 8 chords, you know? They learn like C major, E minor, G major, A minor, and 1 or 2 others, you know, maybe one with a black note in it, like D major, B minor. And then everything is just like combinations of that, and then they just don't look into it any further beyond that, and they kind of regard doing so as almost like selling out, like it's like too mechanized. But I think it assists composition, you know, it allows you to, well, if you're using the music system, you may as well understand it. Where's the harm there, you know? And also communication. I worked with a bassist once who knew theory, and it was great just saying, right, we're going from C sharp minor, we're going to be going from this chord to that chord, you know, and he could just like arpeggiate basses on all those chords, and he knew exactly what to do. He knew exactly where he was in the tune, you know, he knew what notes to hit, what notes not to hit.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying what a lot of people might assume already, which is good musicians know music theory, which seems pretty obvious. But a lot of people are self-taught on their instruments, aren't they?
As am I.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't go on then to learn the theory behind it, and it limits them, doesn't it? And then to see it as well as this form of selling out is really just saying that I'm too lazy to do it myself, but I want some glory for not doing it, you know? And I think that's kind of, it holds people back, I think, when they could really excel.
I mean, I think it just limits their choices. I mean, it kind of seems too daunting, all these notes and chords and things, so they just stick to like 3-chord tricks, you know? And moving on, which brings me on to 12-bar blues. I have particular issues with that because it's basically just, for the last, 60 years or more, it's basically just been a culture of, plagiarism, for want of a better word, you know? It's 3 chords, essentially. Like 1, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1. That's it.
Yeah.
No matter what key you're in, it's the same bloody thing. And people just like go, yeah, cool, man.
It's the lyrics which they put over the top, which is what they're selling. And
I realise there's more to music than, the music, but I still think it's limiting, you know? I mean, look at jazz on the other side, you know, there's blues and then there's jazz. Jazz goes completely the other way, you know? It's just like, let's try everything.
Anything goes.
Let's just try every possible chord and harmony in existence. Let's try them all at the same time if necessary. And I like that. I like that attitude. Although sometimes it's a bit daunting and a bit too over-egging the pudding, but I think that's the way to go, you know.
So is it true to say then, if jazz uses a lot of those different chords, the chords which are not usually regularly used, people who are jazz musicians generally have more training in music theory than you would say the average, rock guitarist or the average recorder player?
I think the difference is people who are trained or people who are into jazz or classical even, in their head, they can like see the music system and they can see all the intervals and chords and harmonies and scales, you know. They know where they are. It's like a territory to them, you know, and they know where they are and they know where they can go and where they can't go or where it would be inadvisable to go, or maybe if you're trying to really shake them up, that's where to go, you know?
Yeah.
You got to know the rules to break them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, that's why you just like see some guitarist at open mic night and it's the same old, you know, G, 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 C, 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 A minor, A minor, A minor.
What song is that, Sam, by the way?
It's probably about 1,200 different songs, really, if you searched. But you know what I mean? It's just like chords, they make people lazy in a way, because especially as I don't mean.
Well, they allow you to lay a melody down or a harmony down with melody, and that's it. Then, you know. Well, thing is though, bands which have done it, like the Beatles, you know, they use limited chords, limited.
I'm not sure
musicality.
though. I mean,
and they got big, you know. And it is true that like a lot of our pop songs and stuff are very basic in their music theory.
That
you know?
is true.
Maybe that's all people need, inverted commas again. Is that those chords?
I don't know. The thing about the Beatles, I'd say, is they do use some rather fruity chords in their compositions. And Paul McCartney, I don't know about Lennon, but Paul McCartney, he didn't have the labels, but he definitely saw it in his head. You know, he definitely had a feel for it, an intuition for it, and he knew where he was within it at any given time, I think. He didn't have the labels to put to it, but he didn't need it. But so in a sense, that is a form of theory. Maybe he's so genius, he doesn't need like to be taught the formal route, but maybe some people do.
He figured it out.
Yeah, without the labels. But I think, you know, so some people it will help. It'll make you realise how trite a lot of these chord progressions are. And again, I don't mean to pick on guitarists, but it seems like with the guitar, it obscures music, whereas on a keyboard, piano, you can see everything. And like, you know, even the best rock singers and composers will write at the piano. And I don't think that's a coincidence. You know, I think, you know, Axl Rose wrote November Rain at a piano.
Wouldn't you think as well, though, that a lot of songs, like songs which don't feature a guitar, but in their writing, they were written on guitar. So like, I know a lot of David Guetta's stuff.
Ellie Goulding.
Yeah, they all write on guitar, but then it's transposed onto synths and electronic equipment. And,
true, but I know in the case of Ellie Goulding, it's that she's got this producer guy, like friend, and he does a lot of the work in sort of transforming it into the arrangements we know and love, you know, because I quite like some of her songs, to be fair. I play a lot of her stuff on my radio show.
It's kind of like a language, isn't it? It's kind of like a language of his own. It's kind of like poetry in a way, where a poet's tools are words, and the more words you have, and the more ways you can form the words through rhythm, meter, speed, rhyme, all those other little features, the more you know about the theory of it and how to construct it, the better you are when you write. Yeah. So it's the same for musicians, really, isn't it? You know, once they got more tools, i.e. the theory behind particular chords, notes, intervals, blah, 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 blah. Once you got all that, you can construct something a lot more robust.
That's an interesting point. I mean, a good poet or author doesn't need an English degree or anything like that. But I'd say, in defense of my argument, if everybody learned music like they learned language from birth, then maybe I would need to be having this discussion now, because everyone would have this sort of innate sense of music, like we all have an innate sense of words. But we don't. Yeah. And I think, especially, like, say, with guitar, I mean, don't mean to pick on guitarists, but the amount of times I've had guitarists, like, offer to, like add guitar to my own compositions, and I've said, right, what we've got here now is a C minor ninth chord, and they just go, what? They don't even know what a ninth chord is. They're like, all they know is majors, minors, and maybe the odd dominant seventh.
Yeah.
And I do think, like I say, guitar, it doesn't help people see it, it doesn't help people sort of click with it, which is why, as I say, people compose at the piano, even if they play something else mainly. But and chords just appear to be these sort of black boxes almost, like they're atomic, immutable, just like little bits of Lego you can put together this way, that way, and the other.
They're just shuffling them around, essentially.
But people don't know how to break them apart and make their own, even, and I think that's the difference. People don't explore enough. They just look at chord diagrams and think that's all there is to music. And then, you throw in a ninth chord, even though chord names have a logical basis to them. They're not just names pulled out of a hat. There's a reason why something is called suspended fourth or minor ninth, And if you just understand that, it's a code telling you, it's a shorthand for harmonies. Instead of writing down 5 different notes, which is what a ninth chord would be, a 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. If you just say CM9, it implies C, E flat, G, B flat, D. Yeah, it's just a quicker way of writing that. And if people don't understand that.
So essentially what you're saying is, if you can understand the underlying code, so what you're actually, why chords are formed like they are,
it's a shorthand.
You can figure it out. You can figure it out. You can say this chord and you'll know which notes you're hitting.
That's exactly it. It's a shorthand, and most people don't appreciate that. It's like a major chord is always start somewhere, go up 4, then go up 3. It's always the same, no matter where you are.
This is an interesting question. Do you think if it was, for instance, in a hypothetical scenario, if it was pushed more in school, music theory, and you had to learn it to a good level, what do you think that would have done to our music writing culture over the years? How would it be different? How would the musicscape, good word.
Wow.
How would the musicscape be different to what it is now?
It'd be less elitist, I think.
Yeah, when I think music theory, I think classically trained, done an A-level in it, may as well have done maths as well as music theory.
I mean, I like math. As you know, we like maths, which is why I don't know if you like music theory, but it is a mathematical system.
I think people do see it as elitist. I do see it as something which the average person wouldn't be interested in or even get to grips with.
But I think they should. I've tried to teach people it, and some people it's like clearly not interested. Some people have been genuinely fascinated. And
it is fascinating. That's the thing.
Insightful.
It is fascinating. It's like when you figure out what a formula is doing, which is what a chord is, I suppose. It's kind of a formula, isn't it?
I mean, it's all mathematical ratios, the certain ratios of harmony, like a fifth is like a 3-to-2 ratio of frequency.
It would come down to how you teach it. You have to show someone in terms they're interested in why it's interesting.
But going back to the earlier point, imagine a world where people played music as freely as they did speak. People learn to speak, don't they, from the age of 2 earlier. Yeah. Imagine people were taught music in a similar fashion, and by the time they were 8, they could, play an instrument as well as they could speak.
Yeah, that would be fascinating.
And then music wouldn't be this big thing, like, it wouldn't be perceived as elitist. And a lot of these things I'm trying to sort of push now would be taken for granted. They'd be obvious. Obvious as all sentences need a verb and every, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Just out of interest, do you think, given our current economic climate, we've got cuts in lots of services, schools are under pressure with the amount of subjects they got to teach anyway. Would you actually like to see and think it's reasonable to have music as a must?
I wish I was taught it earlier. I mean, I learned it at 19, and
so
to be honest,
people who express an interest, if they're going to sign up to it, they have to do it. They have to do it as a lesson sort of thing.
Yeah. I think, it's up to the parents, isn't it? I mean, I think parents should encourage it more. Just like let them play around with a keyboard or, anything, blow a mouth organ, whatever.
Every house should have a keyboard or a guitar. I know you probably wouldn't agree with that, but they should have some musical instrument there for kids to have a bash about on. There's Sam's, and he's got a keyboard behind me.
Yeah, which you can't touch because it's got a crappy hardboard cover that I made over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you see me in Commercial Street in Newport playing my piano, that's me. I got the red sack truck. Give me money.
Don't worry, he tells the tax man, so you can't dob us in.
Right, okay. Let me see. I've written a little summary of what I wanted to address in my soliloquy or whatever the hell. Is that a soliloquy? Is that a thing?
That's when you're dying. Isn't it?
But yeah, I've said all the things I wanted to say. So are we done on this, or have you got anything else?
We're done on this. Yeah. Thank you for joining us again for a quite frenetic, contentious life this time. It's been really good though. I've really enjoyed it. So tune in next time when we're going to be talking about a couple of other interesting topics. I think you're going to really like them.
Yeah. You're going to like my one. I'm doing the overrated one next time, which is pets that aren't cats or dogs. In other words, glorified ornaments.
Yeah.